House! A big thing going on this week for the house is related to the road. Everyone's super anxious about winter coming, and there's kind of this question of, you know, how much money do we put into just trying to prep the road for winter? How much, like putting down material, flattening it, all that kind of stuff, and then how much of that is all just going to get washed away in a big rainstorm. So, you know, it's been hundreds of dollars. Yeah, in my case, over $1,000 so far, like putting into helping to make the road safe. And you know, a couple people on the road, I think, who've been dealing with this for a long time, have kind of reached a boiling point, and they're kind of like in early discussions talking about things like class action lawsuits and all these things that I hadn't really thought about in regards to our private road and the way the town works. A couple things just to fill you in on a little bit of this drama. Yeah, it's technically, as far as I know, a private road. Town doesn't maintain it or anything like that, so the road's gotten pretty crappy. There's a question of liability, though, if something were to happen, if someone were to get into an accident, could they sue someone on the road, that kind of thing. But the thing is that a lot of the land along the road is actually owned by the town. So there's this question of like, oh, well, is the town responsible for irrigation and, you know, the runoff and everything that comes off the land that the town owns that abuts the road? Because you would think that at the very least the town would be responsible for maintaining the parts of the road that they own land on, separate from all of us private residences. So that's kind of an interesting question. But yeah, I mean, you know, if God forbid someone's driving through and flips a vehicle and gets hurt or something like that, or just say something simpler, what if they really damage their car by bottoming out? Are we liable? Is the town liable? Can anyone get, you know, the pantsuit off of them? That's a real concern. And then there's a whole thing about, you know, we pay pretty high taxes here, and there's the question of, are we getting anything for that? We all have our own wells, our own sewer, we pay for garbage separately. You know, our roads around here aren't maintained through our taxes or anything like that. We're paying for all that on our own. So yeah, I mean, I've never been part of like a class action lawsuit, and I'd be curious to see what happens with that if certain members of the road push forward. Yeah, I mean, if we all signed on plaintiffs, I mean, I'd like to think that could get something done, even if all it was, you know what, you guys, yeah, don't pay your water tax. That's an extra few $100s a year you can all put toward the road. That wouldn't be that bad if that's all that came out of that. So we'll see. Yeah, but we have some incredible neighbors working incredibly hard, flattening out some of the worst parts of the road, so those are looking a lot better. I hope it stays that way through winter. And yeah, I just want everything to be safe. We've got a newborn. We don't want to be sliding off the road, and I want to feel okay going to and from work. So yeah, this is a living in the middle of the woods problem. Only other big thing in the house this week is we're finally cleaning all the carpets. It was so lovely again when we bought the house a year ago. So much furniture and everything got left behind, and lots of carpets. You know, great for staying warm during winter and that kind of thing. And there's these beautiful hardwood floors that have been covered by the carpets, so we pulled out all the carpets. They're outside, we've been washing them and that kind of thing. And then it's like, man, we have some really nice hardwood floors. And then, you know, as soon as we start like moving furniture around, it's like, oh god, we're scratching it. This is why we want to keep carpets down. And again, for heat and that kind of thing. But that's kind of the big house thing going on. I want everything to be nice. Got family coming this weekend. My mom and my brothers, they'll be here for a few days. That should be fun. We'll do a big backyard barbecue thing. Garden, because the garden's behind me, I'll just say that even though we have not been maintaining it at all, because reasons, there are still some beautiful tomatoes coming up. I am someone who used to not like tomatoes. My wife turned me on to how wonderful a perfectly ripe tomato can be. She said they taste like sunshine, and she's right, they do. A good tomato tastes like sunshine. And we have some great ones, tiny little yellow ones, I can see them right there, and big red ones, and a bunch are still green, and they're doing great. They're growing, they're not being eaten by, you know, cockroaches or anything. I don't think we have any cockroaches. Whatever would eat tomatoes in a garden, and that's all good. So yeah, that's kind of the house stuff. By the way, I submitted the permit thing for the changes that were made to the house 30 years ago. That was hastily taken care of right before the house was sold to us, but then turned out to be illegal because the town of Phillipstown wasn't, you know, working properly with Putnam County, and so the permit wasn't filed properly. Anyway, all that stuff that I mentioned a couple episodes ago, I hope that's all taken care of. I sent all that stuff in. I got a very quick email from the guy at the Putnam County Department of Health, just like checking in about how our loft works and making sure that it's not a legal bedroom. I don't think it is, so that's good. House stuff.